My name is Ropafadzo Mapira. I run a brand called Soleil. It's a African streetwear brand that is rooted in African heritage and sustainability. I do Soleil because it helps me express myself as a youth in Zimbabwe.
Love to hear that. Beyond the design aspects, beyond the pieces themselves, as I can see some of them are behind you, what key problem or need does Soleil aim to solve for your customers?
We aim to solve culturally relevant clothing from the Zimbabwean aspect. I feel like we, as the youth, don't talk about our roots as much as we should.
Yeah.
And Soleil brings Zim culture to our youth in a modern and digestible way.
Let's talk about the Creative DNA program. So you were recently announced as one of the recipients of the grant seed for that particular program. Congratulations, by the way.
Thank you.
Super happy for you. How has the Creative DNA program impacted you on a personal level, and how do you think it's going to impact Soleil?
Personally, it has grown my network very much, as well as is an experience. I experienced a lot of lovely people through the program, got to know some of the people I work with more than just work. So I did have a positive personal experience with Creative DNA. And then as a brand, I have been impacted in a business way more than creative. The Creative DNA brought a structure to the creative work, so I'm very happy about that.
What do you feel was if you can recall, that is, the most significant learning moment you experienced during the program?
Learning about taxes.
That's a fun topic.
Yeah, I was so afraid of how tax works, banking.
Yeah.
So learning about Zimra taxes and company registration, that was a very, very wow moment for me. So yeah.
Fair enough, I hear that, man. Taxes, I think, I'll be honest with you, I think every person who's ever been in business, that's one of the things that really scares you the most. It's just go in there, do I have the aptitude to do this? And before you do it, it sounds like such a huge thing.
It does, it really does.
Yeah, it's so confusing, but yeah, fair enough, I hear what you mean. So part of being the winners is receiving, grant funding, right?
Yeah.
How do you feel that this grant specifically is going to empower Soleil going forward?
I feel empowered already because now I know how to fill in a bank form.
Fair enough.
But beyond that, it's going to help me expand my production as well as expand my space that I work in. So I'm really happy about that because I'll get to work with more people in a bigger place.
Let's talk about your vision for the future of your brand. You're coming off of the back of this big milestone, significant milestone. Where do you envision Soleil in the next, let's say, 1 to 3 years, give or take?
I envision Soleil being sold in the whole of the southern region of Africa, more than just in SA, Namibia, Kenya. Those are some of the countries I've been looking at expanding to. And I also want Soleil to be more than just a brand, to be a community and a movement, so that when you're wearing the brand, you don't just feel like you're wearing clothes, you feel like you're part of something.
Yeah. So a lot of people who've been in that chair have been touching on community, right? Why is that such a big deal that people keep stressing? What has that done for you in your personal journey?
Community has been a big part of my brand, as well as me as an artist.
Yeah.
I would not be where I am right now if it wasn't for the support that I've been receiving from the creative community itself in Zim. So I wanted to take that aspect and how I feel when I interact with the community into my brand as well.
Okay, fair enough. I hear that. Yeah, I just had to touch on that because a lot of the people who sat in that chair kept stressing community, and a lot of times it's easy to say these things, right? We all say it, but in terms of like actually doing it and then finding, what it adds on like a tangible basis is like the more important part of it, right? I'm going to ask you, a bit of a big picture question. Because you're a creative, you're a creator, but your brand doesn't exist in isolation. There's people like myself who engage with the brand either as media or as customers, right? There's the people you work with, that's maybe co-designers or like models to bring your vision to life. Post this experience, how do you see your brand, contributing to the growth of like the Zim fashion sector?
I want to say it would be more of a learning addition, a learning factor, because people don't know much about sustainable fashion, especially in Zim. That's like one thing I like realize that people really don't know about sustainable fashion. So when I work with people, models, media, artisans, I always then learn from them as well as then teach them what it means to be sustainable. And that's one thing I think will be in addition to the Zim fashion sector, the fact that fashion can be and will be sustainable as we go forth in the future.
Yeah, fair enough. I love that. I've known you for a while now. I think we did something similar to this a couple of years ago, maybe 2022 or 23, somewhere there. So you've been around. I say this to say that you've been doing this for a while, right? Given your experience and all the context you have of being a designer in Zim, what is one piece of advice you would offer to an aspiring designer who's looking to like make a mark, a lasting mark, a positive one as well?
I would say do it because you love it, and also do it because you want people to understand you and your work. The moment you're doing it because you think it's cool or because you think it'll like speak to other people, it'll be hard for you to keep going, because then the reason you're doing it is not for your own growth.
Yeah. Fair enough. Let's get into like the fun ones, or so I was told. If your brand was a song, right? Let's say Soleil is a song. What song would it be, and why do you pick that particular song?
What song would it be? Show Me Love, featuring Tyler. I don't know who the
lead artist is.
But it's featuring Tyler. And I pick it because it's a very modern iteration of African romance.
Okay, fair enough. And that's what Soleil is supposed to be giving us, just like...
Soleil is more connections. It explores connections, whether it's romantic, family, friends, work.
Okay, fair enough. You guys are just putting me on to like so much music I've never heard. So yeah, I'm gonna be stealing these songs and putting them in my rotation. The next thing I want to ask you, let's describe Soleil in 3 words.
In 3 words.
Yeah.
I'll say it's a breeze.
It's a breeze.
It's flexible, and it's expressional.
I'm going to ask you 2 more questions and then I'll let you go, Ropa. What inspired your most recent collection?
The experience that I had as a creative, moving from high school. I learned in Bulawayo. So that transition from being a like, I want to do computer science in uni, to then finding out that I actually wanted to do art instead. So that whole transition from then moving from Blayo, coming into Harare and exploring the creative scene, that's what my collection is based on, and like the people I met, the experiences I went through, and like what Harare has served me as a person.
Is this collection already out, or it's just about to?
It's just about to come out, but one of the pieces is the black and yellow one.
The black and yellow behind the front and center one.
Yes.
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. We will be there. I can't wait to see what that looks like. And then the last thing I'll ask you, what's one thing people might not know about being a fashion designer in Zim?
You don't sleep.
Why don't you sleep?
You don't sleep because you do most of the work by yourself. Before you find a good team that understands your vision, you have to do everything by yourself.
Yeah, fair enough. I think that's a good thing. I think that's a trial by fire, and my perspective on that is that it teaches you to be a good leader, because you're asking people to do things that you've done at some point, so you know how painful it is. You have the context. But yeah, it was great talking to you, Ropa. I wish you all the best with the upcoming collection. Thank you so much for sharing as well.
Thank you for having me.